Kenny gonna go in on this one. Keen is here as well, even though he's really low. Now Sponge gonna take a big shot blast. The flash over the wall should come through eventually, but now flash on into Keen, and it's gonna be Canyon who gets first blood, and the knockback goes on to Rich, and now you've got Chovy here. And UCal can't do anything, and Rich wasn't able to kill Keen either.
It couldn't have gone worse for DRX, because Sponge, his mindset was, if I flash over the wall, he's going to follow me immediately. I need to try and bait him out, mind game him, and then he flashes over the wall, and Canyon just W's him. Like, that is like the worst case. Canyon didn't even flash in that passage of play, by the way.
Yeah.
That's 3 flashes from DRX for nothing on the side of Gen.G. It is not the start you wanted, ultimately, and Keen being able to move sooner really secured that play.
Yeah.
Will take this bot side scuttle.
It's not the start DRX wanted, but it's the start that we expected. Yeah. You know, if we can be honest, I think that with winning lanes for Gen.G, outside of mid, which is kind of even at this point, they should be able to do a lot with it, and we saw that there in that fight.
And Sponge is using esports fan Trundle, so he's just happy to be here. He's also just Gen.G's bottom playing it better. It's like the mid lane matchup. Ryze is pretty fine to Ahri, and yet Chovy has a 50 CS lead.
How did that happen?
Yeah, that's something, that's something I've said for a while. If you're a Gen.G fan and you only watch Gen.G games, which is, there's a lot of fans who only watch their own team games, it's completely fine. But your opinion of matchups, especially in mid lane, must be so skewed. Like, you're watching this, like, I guess Ahri just counters Ryze, you know?
I think Chovy just counters everyone else. That's kind of the opinion you should have.
I think that's very fair and valid.
As a Gen.G fan, or just as a fan of League of Legends, LCK in general nowadays, he does kind of win almost all of the time.
Harder to play into it, you know? Because we've seen a lot of matchups where even when one mid lane is better than the other, there's not a huge difference we see in the lane. It's just kind of like they both farm up, they both become strong. Maybe the better mid lane has more value in team fights, but we don't really see that here. Keen, a little bit trapped.
Guess the knockback. Canyon's here. The shot blast does miss. Canyon level 6. Now we got to fight down to the bottom side. Duro's still not caring. He's going to hold up the door. Maybe he cares now. And yes, he will. He gets taken down. Just in a straight up 2v2 as well. Now we got to dive up on the top side. Canyon, though, is going to flash. And guess who's here? It's UCal. And eventually should be able to take down Keen.
Wait, I think he gets the execute here.
Really? Might actually just be able to walk it off. Yeah, he gets executed. Now Canyon gonna dash on over. He's got Chovy here.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, that's so sad.
You know, if UCal had his flash from earlier, he would have just killed Keen there outright.
He's gonna do the grubs.
Oh,
they're just gonna take all 3 of them.
This doesn't feel good.
I mean, really? I guess with Duro here, yeah. In the 2v2, I think they actually could have tried to fight, but...
That's the thing as well, because he chased Keen for... Yeah.
Maybe could have tried to force it a bit.
Maybe we're concerned about, like, Chovy TPing.
All right, we got another play here. UCal has to flash again. And now a little knock up in, but now we have the chains coming out. Not going to hit Canyon, unfortunately. Tons of damage, though, coming out from Lazyfield. Has that Yomu's. And will win the fight here, does DRX, actually. They do have to burn UCal's flash, though.
Could have been a kill onto the jungler there. Obviously, Canyon didn't have his ultimate, but I think if the ult connects, the pillar's going to come in and follow up. And they would have been able to find that one. So, a little unfortunate from Lazyfield, but still forces Gen.G away and allows them to get a bit more control over this dragon area. 16 seconds till that dragon, second of the game. 1 in favor of Gen.G so far. And Gen.G very close to getting the feats of strength. And that's something I want to mention. I feel like since we've seen the reduction in price for the feats of strength, a lot more players finishing them after they get their first 2 items and seeing the value, particularly the boots of swiftness. So you obviously get 10 extra movement speed, but just if your movement speed is 400, you get 20 extra adaptive force.
Yeah.
And obviously if you have any ways to boost your movement speed, which, you know, Jace does, Ahri does, Lucian does, even Braum does. I mean, Braum's not really going for adaptive force, but...
What do you mean, Kubo?
Chovy, he has no ult.
He does have a blast cone, but there's 3 people around him. Even UCal denies it. He heard me. Yeah, Chovy's just dead. I don't know how he ended up in the spot. I'm trying to get the kill over to Sponge, and Chovy will be successful in that. But I mean, still, it's a big shutdown here for the Trundle.
Yeah, didn't see how that ended up happening. Mistake from Chovy and a good pick from DRX. But giving the kill over the Trundle, definitely best case scenario from that. So at least managed to lessen the impact of that play. Even if it obviously wasn't ideal, given over that gold, regardless. And it's still a good lead for Gen.G. They still have a 2-dragon advantage. They still have 3 grubs, feats of strength, all of that. But it's not like an inescapable lead right now for DRX. The game definitely not over yet, but not going how they would have hoped, I can definitely say.
Yeah, not an unlosable spot just yet for Gen.G. And the majority of their lead just comes from the top lane, in just trying to get a POM. Can you blame him?
Actually, if that's his play, that's smart.
Can you blame him? This is a Xinjiao, but there are 4 people here engaged from Ondil, but they're going pretty deep for this one into Xinjiao and Bravo are not taking damage. Canyon finally, they get into the circle and they take him out, but look at everybody's health bar. Only Bravo's going to go down alongside of it, and now LazyFeel is left alone. He does flash away from this one, but Gen.G get the better of it because all of that damage went on to Canyon and Duro.
Yeah, and a lot of AoE was done that. I also think like Xin Zhao with Sundered, he upgrades that soon. Right, his phase rush, he has Ghost Blade, he has the acceleration gate. That's a lot of movement speed to give you extra AD. Especially early on, it makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be working on that. Right now he's working on the Raptors, and the Rift Herald was just put down here.
No one riding it.
Just going to charge into the mid lane.
I like that. They give the Rift Herald free reign to make his own decisions.
Yeah.
And he decides to charge in a mid-tier one, like every other Rift Herald.
Yeah. Shelly's kind of pre-programmed. Doesn't really have a lot of wiggle room there.
The illusion of free choice.
Yeah. Isn't that the same for all of us? Anyway. Yeah, Gen.G are... It doesn't feel like they're stomping, but they kind of are. It's still like a playable game here for DRX.
The lead's expanding, that's the scary thing. The thing is, a lot of that gold is on Jace, which is bad and good. It's bad because Jace is very strong and will shock blast you to hell. It's good in the sense that you kill Jace, that's a lot of gold taken off their team fighting with Yorick. Well,
hell yeah. All right, the engage comes in. Canyon again, the target here. Not sure about that. Ondil already dead. He's just gone. But Duro as well getting low. Kobe, he's got a couple of dashes still left over. Although he did take some poke damage from them. Now the re-engage does come in. Sponge going to put down a pillar. Just wants to kill the Drake. But this is so all over the place for DRX. They're killing the Drake. They're killing... Oh, no. And no TP comes out here. It's just a full ace as everything goes wrong for DRX. Gen.G just sweep them.
Yeah, I think that's the moment we're waiting for.
I think highlight 2.
This is kind of the problem with this composition.
Yep.
They're just team fighting. They bring the Yorick in just because they want a fist fight.
They didn't have to pick the realm. They could have picked something else. Could have played Renata or Nico or anything. Yukal just being chased down here. He doesn't have flash. He doesn't have his realm orb, and he's just dead. So, yeah, just face check the bottom tri-brush with no vision. Puts down a ward and just dies eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Rich wants to fight.
Well, I'm not sure he does anymore. The ghouls still do. But they're just doing their own thing. And Gen.G will look to pick up the Arakan. They have 23 pedals, by the way. You know what? It happened a couple of weeks ago. I flamed Ruler because he walked past the pedal without taking it. And I feel like maybe he heard me, because since then, Gen.G has been locked into these pedals. 23 free Arakan is kind of crazy. We don't normally see that many. I feel like teams just don't often prioritize them and pick them up. And now up to 35. I think it's things that, so key, we talked about the Boots of Swiftness, that extra AD. You're now getting the extra AD from the pedals, and you got 8,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it. We do have Rich in a bad spot here, gets charmed. He is pretty tanky. He's also going to flash, and he does get away. Duro here, though, as well, so no revenge to be taken by DRX.
Duro has 100 AD. This is a strong ball. Okay, yeah. I mean,
you said it before the game was over after that team fight. It's very over. It's kind of rare to get fully aced at about 17 minutes into the game, and it really can, in the pro scene, just kind of end your game.
Yeah, I mean 5-0. Like, not just the fully 8, but 5-0 is just like, okay, it's kind of, because they're already slipping away from the game, and definitely not in a fantastic spot now. I kind of want to see, though, I've talked about this a few times, for science, I want to see how much damage Keen Shock Blast does right now. Also, look at his items, and look at Rich's items.
Hey, Trinity Force is pretty expensive, okay?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, there you go. That's one shot blast. Wow. In the LazyFeel.
It's a lot of damage.
Hey, Saracen Race is finished for you, Cal. We're going to have a team fight here. Sponge nearly dies to one phase column, but the pillar! Oh! He gets the shutdown for LazyFeel. Look at Canyon as well in a really bad spot. Well, I say that. He kills LazyFeel, actually. In goes Toby. I think Gen.G are definitely having their fun with this one. as the Realm does come in. Chovy now in a 1v3 scenario and is still going to get the
How's he
kill.
still alive?
He still lives. There's just no damage here from the side of DRX, and that is, again, an ace. This time it's not clean as two of them die, but I don't think Gen.G cared.
Yeah, I mean, killing Keen at the start of the fight, a pretty good strategy when you're not 10,000 gold down, but unfortunately too far behind, even with the Jace taking off the cards. Chovy just cleans.
Dash over to help kill Canyon, and Canyon just one rotation clapped him from half health. Lazy feels just like, oh, here because he had used it against rulers, just random culling in mid lane.
Yes, I've learned a little bit in my time covering League of Legends. When you have more gold and more items, it makes you strong. More levels too.
How about a Mountain Soul?
That also does help.
Otacon?
Otacon, contributing factor.
Feature strength?
Yeah, Grubs as well. 40 petals right now for Gen.G. That's a good amount of adaptive force.
Hey, but Chovy missed his charm.
Duro has 105 AD. You know, I talked about like who would win in melee range, Duro or Lazyfield. I think it's still Lazyfield. I hope it's still Lazyfield. That's a strong Braum though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is a buff Braum.
They're just baiting Baron here. It's still very early as Baron just spawns. And they're just going to look to turn onto Andil, who says, well, I'm going to press my buttons and hope that somebody saves me. Canyon just frontlining here. Big Braum ultimate on the engage. And now they're not going to get away again as they're all stuck in the circle. And it's just lights out from here. The TV comes in onto the bottom lane. Rich has his head in his hands. It's not a good field down. 14,000 gold, 26 minutes into the game. And yeah, that's game one. Gen.G, pretty good at this game.
Safe to say, I think that's a pretty, you know, we sometimes say some outlandish statements, but I think we're pretty